Chapter 12. Cold Hearts. As Ned floated across the sky in his hot air balloon made of slime, he looked down on the little island he called home. Not far from the school was Mulcher's toy shop, Envy's Emporium. There, he shouted to Slime. Down we go, replied his friend. The toy shop belonged to twin brothers, Edmund and Edmund Envy. The duo dressed identically in matching waistcoats and bow ties. Their hair was too young for their craggy old faces. It was permed tightly and dyed so black it was blue. However, what Edmund and Edmund were most well known for was their nastiness. The pair hated children. Some thought they only ran the toy shop so they could hate children more. As for the children of Mulch, it was the only toy shop on the island, so they had no choice. If they wanted a toy, they had to go to Envy's Emporium. Why did Edmund and Edmund hate children so much? Because they envied them. The twins were bitter that they were old and ruined. Years and years of sniping and snarking and snumping. Snumping? Oh, hang on. This word has had the Walliams Dictionary seal of approval. Need you ask more? Well, who knows what it means? Years and years of sniping, snarking and snumping at each other had chilled their hearts. They hated each other nearly as much as they hated children. Envy's Emporium was no ordinary toy shop. In amongst the cars, dolls and games you would expect to find in any toy shop, the twins had added some of their own special surprises. An Envy's Emporium snakes and ladders set where there are no ladders, just snakes on every single square. Slide. A toy telephone that never ever stops ringing, so it drives you bananas. Ring, 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 and so on. A rocking horse, inside which the twins had placed a hidden motor. It rocks so fast it hurls its rider off. Whoosh! Thud! A baby doll that not only cries with her tears, but also does number ones and number twos. Boo! Their own version of the game Operation. There is no electric buzz, but an electric shock. When you touch the sides, the electric shock is so powerful it will throw you across the room and leave you in dire need of an operation yourself. Pow! A 999,999 piece jigsaw. It says a million piece jigsaw on the box, but Terrible Twins have removed one piece. You would finally get to the end after a decade and still not be able to complete it. Snap! A trike, where they have taken the seat off and replaced it with a fork. So every time you sit down to pedal, you get an ouch-tastic pain in your bottom. Ooh, ouch-tastic. Let's have a look. A real word you will find with absolute ease in the world's most trusted reference book, which needs no introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I give you the Walliams Dictionary, my gift to the world. My body! These are the perfect toys to bring terror to children. Now Ned was determined to turn the tables on them. Chapter 13. Clockwork Robot. Some time ago, Ned had fallen in love with a very special toy in Envy's Emporium. A toy his mum and dad could never afford to buy. His parents were humble people and they worked from dawn until dusk to put food on the table. The toy was a clockwork robot, metal and boxy, with lights and whirring noises, just as a clockwork robot should be. The boy had seen it on display in the window of the twin shop, and he would stop by on his way home from school each night to gaze at it. It was perfect. Ned knew this clockwork robot would be much more than just a toy. It would be a friend. The boy and his robot would have adventures together. They would fly spaceships, battle alien armies, visit distant planets, and still be home in time for tea. As Ned would daydream, Edmund would spy on him staring through the window and charge out the shop. "Begone, child!" Edmund would shout. "Wretched boy!" Edmund would agree. "I was only looking," Ned would protest. "Stop wearing our precious toys out with your eyes. If you aren't going to purchase said toy, then shoo! Never darken our door again." Then the pair would retreat into their shop and slam the door. Bang! A sign on the door read, "Only one child at a time. Children are vile, thieving rats." Years, months, and weeks passed. Eventually, Ned had saved up enough of his pocket money to buy the robot for himself. So on Saturday morning, he wheeled himself inside the shop. Tring! Went the bell on the door. Strangely, the shop was completely empty. "Hello?" he called out. "Hello?" But there was no answer. With trepidation, Ned picked up the clockwork robot from the window and took it over to the till. Still the boy couldn't see anyone. Then, boo! The twins leaped up from behind the counter. Edmund had some joke shop fangs in his mouth and was pulling a vampire face. Meanwhile, Edmund had sharp claws on his fingers and was pulling a werewolf face. The pair loved frightening children. A startled Ned rolled back in his wheelchair. Trundle. Why did you do that?" he spluttered. "Happy Halloween," the twins chimed in together. Ned thought for a moment. "It's not Halloween for another 6 months." "It's Halloween every day in Envy's Emporium," said Edmund. "We don't need a special day to scare children," agreed Edmund. The twins looked down at the clockwork robot the boy was holding in his hands. "So you finally saved up all your precious little pennies, have you?" remarked Edmund with a look of pity on his face. "Yes," replied the boy. He took out his piggy bank from next to him on his battered old wheelchair. The piggy bank was indeed full of pennies. Ned received just a penny a week of pocket money. It was all his parents could afford, but the boy had saved and saved and saved and then saved some more. The night before, Ned had counted all his pennies and realised to his delight he had just enough to buy the robot. The twins snatched the piggy bank and shook out the coins onto the counter. Ding, 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 ding! The evil old pair bristled as they realised that they would have to count every single one. There must have been hundreds and hundreds of coins. Then Ned noticed Edmund whispering in Edmund's ear before the pair shared a secret smile. "I will go and fetch a bag," purred Edmund. "You do that, Edmund," replied Edmund. "No, you're Edmund." "Am I?" asked Edmund. "Yes, I am Edmund." "Are you sure?" "Quite sure." "I thought it was the other way round." "No, definitely not." "Oh," said Edmund. The twin was most befuddled. "Well, you do that, Edmund." "Thank you, Edmund," replied Edmund, before realising his mistake. "Don't! You got me doing it now." The boy looked on in disbelief. The Envy twins were crackers. Edmund tiptoed off as Edmund began counting the coins on the counter. 1p, 2p, 3p. Ned looked down at the clockwork robot he was cradling in his hands. At last, this fantastic toy, which he'd coveted for so many years, was going to be his. 4p, 5p, 6p. Boom! There was a deafening explosion right next to the boy's ear. Horror upon horror, Ned dropped the clockwork robot to the floor. Clank! It smashed into pieces. Clatter! In tears, Ned leaned over in his wheelchair to collect them all, but it was no use. The robot was destroyed. Still, Edmund counted. 7p, 8p, 9p. Hunched over, the boy could feel someone looming behind him and turn around. It was Edmund, the twin, was holding what was left of a brown paper bag that he had burst. "Oops," remarked Ed. "Oops indeed," agreed Edmund. "The nasty little runt has broken our toy. All children are vile, especially this little vandal. All breakages must be paid for in full." But, pleaded Ned, "it wasn't my fault." "Oh, yes, it was. You gave me a fright." "What fright?" asked Edmund, mocking innocently. "I didn't hear anything," lied Edmund. "I'm going," announced Ned. The boy made a grab for the pennies all spread out on the counter, but Edmund whisked them away just in time. Tink-tonk-tonk. "They're mine," pleaded the boy. You didn't listen, snarled Edmund. All breakages must be paid for in full, repeated Edmund. But? No buts, boy, now, be gone. With a heavy heart, the boy turned his wheelchair and rolled himself out of Envy's Emporium. Ooh, they're mean. Just as Ned reached the door, he turned back to see the evil pair collapse in hoots of laughter. We got him! Oh, we got him good and proper! When all this happened, Ned had felt helpless to do anything. Today, he had the power to right this wrong, and so many others. Chapter 14. The most revolting toys in the world. And we will read that tomorrow.